Good evening. All right, are we ready, everyone? Okay, I'm going to pull this down just to talk so you all can understand me this evening. Welcome to the Wednesday, June 16th, 2021 Garrison Board of Education regular meeting. Dusty, I'm going to call this to order. Will you call the roll, please?
Jocelyn Apicello.
Here.
David Gelber.
Here.
James Hoch.
Here.
Courtney McCarthy.
Excused.
Kent Schott.
Here.
Matthew Spicer.
Here.
Sarah Tormey.
Here. Now, if I'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, next up on our agenda this evening, and sorry, the sun is really in my eyes right now, but I will invite anyone who wishes to speak during public comment to come up and sign in, and then I will begin with my president's remarks this evening. As this board reaches the end of their year of service, the school year and the district's fiscal year, I wish to thank all of our members for their time and dedication. We began this year with a new superintendent and a question: how would Garrison provide an education for our students during a global pandemic? With the support of our teachers and staff, we opted for an in-person education with a remote option. While other districts asked teachers to provide both remote and in-person instruction, we turned to iTutor, a remote instruction program offered through BOCES. Our hope was that by allowing the teachers and staff to focus on the in-person students without placing cameras in rooms or having in-person students on computers all day, we could provide a better educational experience for our students. It was not perfect for our students, for our teachers, or for our staff. By opening in person, our staff, students, and parents had to manage required quarantines throughout the year and so much more. This was a difficult year. It was also an expensive year. The board authorized the use of up to $550,000 from fund balance to cover the cost of iTutor. I will note that we anticipate the district will receive approximately 1/3 of the total cost back in the form of BOCES aid in the 2021-2022 budget. I wish to thank the board for their willingness to invest in our students' educational experience. I wish to thank the teachers, the staff, and the administration for their unwavering dedication to our students and our district's mission as we navigated a new educational landscape. Throughout this unprecedented year, and I know that's a word we're all tired of now, our board remained focused on our goals. We moved forward with the coherence planning process. We continued to update our policies. We developed and approved an anti-racism and equity strategic plan, and developed a budget that both recognizes the fiscal impact of the pandemic and focuses on our priorities for the years ahead. I believe this board is mindful that every dollar we spend, from facilities to salaries to benefits, every dollar comes from taxpayers. The voter-approved budget for next year does eliminate positions based on information we have now about our students' needs. Next year's budget also adds positions that the board believes will keep the district moving forward. Tonight, the board will vote on the superintendent's recommendations for 2 new positions created in the 2021-2022 budget: a K-8 environmental science teacher and a director of technology and innovation. We hope these new positions will further our use of the Garrison School Forest, develop a dynamic, aligned K-8 environmental science curriculum, and begin a middle school STEAM program, among other things. We recognize that change is challenging, and at times our community may disagree on how best to use our taxpayer dollars to provide the best possible educational experience for our students. These are important discussions. While the board cannot promise we will always agree, we can promise our Garrison community that this board is committed to following the guidance and laws of New York State. We are committed to following the open meetings laws. That means that discussions and decisions happen in public meetings. The board may enter into executive session to discuss proposed, pending, or current litigation, collective negotiations, medical, financial, credit, or employment history of a particular person or corporation, or matters leading to the appointment, employment, promotion, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of a particular person or corporation, or matters of public safety. Matters discussed in an executive session are confidential and may not be discussed outside of the session. Members of our staff and community may write letters, may share their perspective during public comment at board meetings, provided the individuals follow the board's policy on public comment. We recognize that the need to follow the laws is frustrating at times for both the board and the community members. However, the board remains bound by the laws governing open meetings and executive sessions. That does not mean the board should not strive to improve our communication with the community, especially as pandemic restrictions lift and we are able to gather like we are tonight and begin to welcome the community back to our campus. I am confident that this board and the board we will have going forward, led by our superintendent in his role as our chief executive officer, will continue to serve with integrity and with the need of our students as a cornerstone to all of our collective decisions. We will look to learn from our mistakes and celebrate our progress. Tonight's meeting offers numerous reasons to celebrate, as our agenda includes recommendations for tenure and an opportunity to welcome new staff members. As part of a long-standing tradition, I will also read the list of schools and programs our seniors graduating from high school plan to attend next year. This list is a work in progress and will be published on the district website once complete. If you have an addition to this list, please reach out to the district office. We certainly don't want to leave anyone off. Next year, our district seniors plan to attend the University at Buffalo, University of Vermont, Syracuse University, State University of New York at New Paltz, McGill University, Dutchess Community College, Rockland Community College, Westchester Community College, Orange Community College, Virginia Western Community College, Orange Coast College, Boston University, Clark University, University at Albany, University of Buffalo. Congratulations to our graduating high school seniors. Okay, I don't think they're here tonight. They're probably out doing something fun. All right, I'm now going to turn it over to Carl for the superintendent's remarks.
Thank you, Sarah. I just have a few remarks. This morning, I had the honor and the privilege of attending the pre-K graduation ceremony at St. Philip's Nursery School across the street. They are celebrating 60 years of running their pre-K program, and their leader, Anita Prentice, who was the interim director this past year, did an amazing job. They offered an in-person experience. And the students and families were just thrilled, and it was a wonderful celebration. About a third of those children will be attending the Garrison schools, so it was a very nice way to welcome them. I congratulate the staff there, of course, the parents and the children. Next, this past Friday, here right in person in the gymnasium, we had a wonderful 8th grade awards ceremony. I just want to once again congratulate each and every one of our 8th graders. There were a number of academic awards and awards from local leaders that our students received. The host of the ceremony was Miss Emig, our principal. And I also need to compliment Miss Kathy Clark, who did an amazing job. She is the 8th grade class advisor who organized the entire ceremony. Kathy also is organizing our graduation, which will take place a week from tomorrow, next Thursday, for 8th grade students and parents here in the gymnasium. Also, there's a special congratulations for one of our middle school students who was placed at BOCES. His name is Patrick D'Abruzzo. He was named a student of distinction. He is making wonderful growth and progress and doing fantastically in this program. And Dr. Ryan, the superintendent of BOCES, has shared a video with us. And he did ask that we share this with the public at our meeting to celebrate Patrick's success. So I'm going to ask Mrs. Callow if she could play that video for the board and the audience.
Give it a second.
go.
Good evening. It is with great pleasure that I join you to announce this month's recipient of the Putnam Northern Westchester BOE Student of Distinction Award. This significant achievement is for students recognized by our staff for outstanding performance and personal growth. I also want to take a moment to thank you for your continued support. We value our relationship with your school district and look forward to continuing to serve your needs. And now for the Student of Distinction Award.
Hello, I'm Shalamate, Principal of Pinesbridge. I am thrilled to nominate Patrick D'Abruzzo as Student of Distinction. Patrick, who comes to us from the Garrison Union Free School District, has made progress in so many areas and has come so far over the past few years. He has become more independent and takes pride in doing things for himself and helping others. Patrick loves to come to school each morning, is eager to participate in lessons, and is a social butterfly, greeting teachers and peers with a wave, a smile, or a vocalization. Patrick has made progress in his communication skills and in his fine and gross motor skills. I am so proud of the young man he is becoming and look forward to continuing to watch him grow.
Patrick is an amazing young man. Congratulations to him and his family. My next comment is just a reminder. We really have turned a corner with this pandemic. We are grateful that nearly every adult working in the Garrison district is fully vaccinated. But I just want to remind the community that we need to be mindful that our children are not vaccinated. Some of our middle school children are, but the majority of our K through 8 students are not. We did have 3 positive cases recently. We had one that I announced and sent out a message on, and we had 2 more that we learned about just prior to this meeting. Quarantine rules have changed. We've learned a lot more about the virus, and back during the winter months, and even just 2 or 3 months ago, we were quarantining larger numbers of people whenever we had a positive case. Due to science and what we've learned about the spread of the virus, we've been able to quarantine smaller numbers of people. We have a lot of things working in our favor here in the school district, things such as ventilation, MERV 13 filters, windows open. We have enough space where our students are spread out in a 6-foot radius in every classroom. So all of those things help us to avoid large-scale quarantines at this point. Anyone who was in close proximity to the infected individuals, their families have been notified. So basically, for any parents that are here this evening and anyone listening, no news is good news. If you haven't heard that you need to quarantine from Nurse Melissa or Principal Emig, then there's no reason to be concerned. We will notify parents every time your child has been exposed, and we will take all the necessary precautions. We are in the home stretch here. We have a week and a half left of school, and we are really hoping that when we return in September, this pandemic will be even further under control, and possibly even more of our students being able to access the vaccine, I think, which will be helpful. Decisions will be made over the summer. Parents will be kept well informed. We don't know exactly what September will look like, but we are prepared. The board has approved a budget that allows us to maintain all of the safety precautions that we have in place this year. So I just thought that announcement was important to make. This is our last board meeting of the year, and I do encourage parents to continue to exercise good judgment and be cautious as things start to open up more and more due to the success with controlling this infection. Sarah, that's all I have for now.
Okay, thank you. Next, we go on to retiring board member recognition. At this point, we will recognize James Hoch for his years of service to the Garrison Union Free School District. I have this lovely plaque. The plaque reads, "With sincere appreciation for your dedicated service on the Board of Education of the Garrison Union Free School District 2015 to 2021, from the members of the board." And I believe this plaque is environmentally friendly, is that correct as well? Bamboo, there you go. And we also, to be opened later, a little gift. So thank you. Yeah, that's a different. Oh, I'm so sorry.
You get something else?
Here, this is also your card and your certificate.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you, Dusty. Thank you, James, for everything, for your leadership last year, for your dedication to this district. And no one will ever know how many hours you put in. But we really, yes, well, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But we greatly appreciate it. Congratulations. And I invite anyone else who wishes to add. Of course, David.
Yeah, James and I have been pals and fellow members and, of this board for quite a while. And James has been a real leader and a real inspiration. He's passionate about education. He's very passionate about this school. He's full of really great ideas about moving the school forward. And he's really played I think we're in the best place. I've been on the board for, 7 years now, and I think we're in the best place that we've ever been at the Garrison School. And I think that James is a very big reason why we've made the kind of progress that we have. So, gonna miss you, pal. Let's plan to get together at Hudson Hills for breakfast sometime soon.
Thank you, David.
Jocelyn?
I wrote James a poem.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, it's a haiku, so don't worry. It's super short.
It's called the Iliad.
This guy sure can write and talk and talk and talk, and we'll miss all of it. So thanks for all you've done. I've only got to serve with you for a year and some, but you were an outstanding leader, and I so appreciate the transitions you are helping the district move towards, and especially your leadership on the committees that you've been on. It was really great, and I know you're not moving, so yeah, we'll all come find you.
Matt?
I want to echo, I don't have a poem. And now I feel like an unprepared student, but I do want to say that you've been a model in how to do this and a boon to the district. And I just feel indebted for your guidance in what a board is and how to think of it really as service to the district. Your passion for education, as David said, and also transitioning to Sarah just at the helm during, I don't want to use the word unprecedented, but it is the right word for this crisis, and just being sort of steady throughout that. So really a genuine thank you.
Thank you, Matt. All right. Congratulations, James.
Sarah, may I also
Yeah,
just
of course.
publicly say thank you to James. When I first was hired last spring, there were many unknowns. It was a scary time. James was comforting. He gave me a thorough history of Garrison. His insight was incredibly helpful. He also took me on my first official hike in the forest. I have to admit, it was a little difficult to keep up with his pace, but he pushed me, and at the summit, he said, "Take a good look at this. Look at the potential. This is yours to figure out what to do with." And I must say, I appreciate, he's given us wonderful guidance. He's been on our planning committee. We actually met prior to this board meeting, and he was always pushing our thinking to be better and to look for opportunities. And again, I am just tremendously grateful for his leadership and his insight and his friendship. So James, I do hope we stay in touch, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Carl.
If Courtney was here, she'd say, keep it short. So I'm keeping it short. It's been real, in the sense that, real things have happened here. And I really feel that the board and the district are moving in great directions, and I've got full confidence in the board members here, their professionalism, their sense of obligation to the task at hand, the role they play, and to the leadership in the district. So I feel fortunate to have been here during this transition. It was a difficult, taking over in the middle of a pandemic was a little unexpected, but I feel like with everybody that's here, it made it a lot more manageable. My moments of mania and meltdown and verbosity were handled and tolerated, and I appreciate your patience with me, and I'm happy that I had this opportunity to give back to the community.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Next up, that was well done, James. I'll tell Courtney. Next up, we have the award of tenure and tenure recognition.
Yeah, this is the best part of the job, by the way.
Yeah, this is, I think, what most people are here for tonight. So I'm going to read the recommended action first. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Garrison Union Free School District, upon the recommendation of Carl L. Albano, Superintendent, does hereby award tenure to Marjorie Guigliano in the tenure area of elementary education and certification area of childhood education, grades 1 through 6, effective August 30th, 2021. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. I'm now going to invite Allison up before we vote to offer some words.
Do you mind if I can hear just a little bit? I know. I will make sure I'm nice and loud. Can you hear me? Okay. First, I just want to say, Marge, you look beautiful. You really do. Thank you, and thank you for coming with your beautiful family. I want to speak to your children for just a brief moment. Your children, you have your students from your classroom that are here also, but you also have your sons here, and I know what it's like to have your family at a special moment like this, and how I want you boys to take it all in and be so proud of your mom. Your mom is one incredible, inspirational woman. You need to know that. So I prepared some things that I want you to pay attention to about your mom, and the kids that you also inspire, Marge, or the students in Garrison. I want you to pay close attention to the words I'm going to say about your mom and your teacher, and of course, your colleagues, because your colleagues are here as well. Okay? So, Marge, I'm proud, beyond words, to be your principal and to be a witness of the work that you do for our kids. So I do have a lot prepared. I want to make sure that I take my time so I don't forget anything. So I want to welcome everybody. I want to welcome the beautiful family that you have, Marge. We thank you for being here in person, everyone in person. I'm honored to share with everyone here tonight that you deserve tenure, and why we're committed to you, Marge, as much as you've been committed to the students here at Garrison. I want to share some background information first about Marge's history, where she went to school. She graduated from Queens College and holds a bachelor's degree in psychology, and she has a master's in teaching, grades 1 through 6. Her first teaching position was back in 2009, where she taught at the Harlem Day Charter School as a second grade teacher. Soon after she continued teaching second grade, she was teaching at Growing Up Green Charter School in also New York City. And 4 years later, Marge transitioned to become a fifth grade teacher at Robert E. Simon School, also in New York City. Then she came here. We scooped her up. Her previous experiences, her content knowledge, her curricular experience, her curricular knowledge, her love for children paired with her professionalism, earned her this spot here at Garrison as a leading teacher in our elementary program. Marge, you are a professional who has earned the respect of the Garrison community, including students, families, colleagues, administration, and our Board of Education. Marge developed positive, trusting, and loving relationships with her students. And as a result, her students have displayed tremendous growth over the years with their academics and social emotional. Marge, your planning and your preparation in your classroom. Each day your lessons are active and engaging. You include all the necessary ingredients of effective lessons and project-based learning. Your lessons are aligned to standards. You know your standards. You know what's expected of your students. You include very clear learning objectives. When you walk into her classroom, kids know what is expected of them. During a global pandemic that's affected nearly 16 months of our students' education, Marge didn't really skip a beat. She demonstrated responsiveness, flexibility in regards to remote instruction. She was able to transition in and out of remote learning, but she made it look easy. I was watching her on a Zoom and I was like, how did she just do that? She made it look easy, but I know it wasn't. I know the kind of planning and preparation that goes into doing what you do. I was that teacher once, hopefully as good as she was at the time. Marge, you demonstrate everything that an exceptional teacher has, and that's you. You provided the continuity of learning for your students. You continue to provide the love and support and security that your students need and that your families needed during these difficult times. Marge, you're also an advocate. You watch your growth of the students, you watch their progress, you really carefully monitor your students' growth and progress. When you feel that something's not quite right, maybe with one of the students in your class, you use your teammates, you use the response to intervention specialists, you use the child study team and your colleagues, and you help to problem solve so that this way you can see the growth in your students. You advocate hard. I appreciate that. Your families appreciate that, and the kids do too. Some amazing things that happened this year in your room. I've been in your room a lot, paging in and out, and when I page in and out, I glean a lot. Of course, naturally, during a pandemic, she manages to raise quail. You know, she gets the kids all excited about watching them hatch. She takes them outdoors to the trails. She goes bird watching with the kids. But what I love that's so endearing is that she calls the children in her classroom her friends. And she'll say things like, friends, like she calls them friends all the time. She's got such a tremendous rapport with the students in her class. It's so endearing to watch. Let me take a pause for a minute. You're always seeking to enrich the learning experiences for your students. You have high expectations for your students. Those are the Garrison values. High learning expectations, empathy, building respect toward others, and having a growth mindset. You strive for those things. You embody that. If you've ever had the pleasure of watching Marge in her classroom, it's completely amazing. Her management techniques to maintain students' attention and harness motivation is like no other. Marge uses a combination of engaging lessons, chants. She uses like boys to men chants. You'll walk into her room and, let me see, Lafayette, you're there? Right? What is Miss Juliana do? She'll say something like, this is how you do it. That's right. And then the kids all chant back, this is how we do it. And it's like, then the kids all stop and they know exactly what the next step is. So those are the kinds of techniques that make Marge really unique and special. And that's what allows for students to have fun and open their minds to learning. It's just amazing to watch that. I love that. Marge, you continue to be a learner yourself. You actively participate in professional development. You've been a member of the math study team. You've made significant contributions as a member of our anti-racism and equity task force. You help to craft priorities for this district, and you offer insight on the upcoming capital project through the lens of a teacher. When you ask people to describe Marge, these are some of the comments that have been shared with me. Marge comes to school each day with a positive attitude, and the students are ready to learn. Marge is amazing at what she does. She is loving and kind to all of her students. One of our subs quoted, "I recently changed my major in college because now I want to be a teacher. I want to be a teacher just like Marge." So Marge, your inspiration goes beyond the walls of this school. You are part of the Garrison community at large and beyond. And we are so fortunate and we are honored to award you tenure.
Congratulations. While you're standing up here, I am going to take a vote quickly.
Make it official.
Make it official. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Abstentions? Nays? Congratulations. Congratulations. Yeah, of course. The microphone is yours, please.
I'm going to say something because I want to give some of you a little background and just to understand how I got here. So I am a city girl, like city. And I've been working as a teacher in the city all my life, but when I was in high school, I had this experience where I went away to Buffalo State College for 6 weeks, and it was an environmental 6-week program. I earned college credits, but I also went backpacking for 4 days in the forest. This is my first time camping, and the teacher tells us I can't wear makeup. I'm in high school. Makeup is my protection from the outside world. And he says you can't wear makeup because you can get attacked by bears. I'm like, oh my goodness, look what I signed up for. Anyway, we go backpacking, no makeup. I'm so uncomfortable the first couple of nights. Of course, I hear that we have to hang our food on trees. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, this is like real right now. I'm really in the woods. And we're hiking, and then we're camping the first night, and I'm a bit uncomfortable. And then we wake up in the morning, and I look out, and I see trees, and it's almost like a painting. And I'm like, this is just the most beautiful thing. And then day after day for the rest of the nights of camping, it changed me. The environment that I was out in nature for those 4 days completely changed me. Then ever since when I became a teacher and I started working at Growing Up Green Charter School, and that was like all about the environment, and then I moved up here with my son and my wonderful husband who's been super patient with me all these years. I was commuting from here to the city, and then I was like, oh, this is a real hard commute. And then my husband calls me and he says, Marjorie, I see a posting of a school. It's called the Garrison School, and I have a good feeling about it. I don't know, Margie. Keep in mind, this is like a couple weeks before the new school year starts in my city school. And I'm like, okay. So I look up this school, And I'm reading, everything sounds good. And then I read the school has a forest. I'm like, what? They have their own forest? I'm like, what is this place? I have to go. I interview with Laura and John, and I'm like, this is my school. I go home, I tell my husband, this is my school. I have to get this job. And I interviewed the first time, and then the second time with Robin and some other of my colleagues, and I just was like, I need to be here. And I got the job, and I'm home. I'm so happy. I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful that all of you parents have just embraced me, have embraced my hand signals and my quirkiness and all the wild things that I come up with to do with your children. You have embraced me. You have partnered with me. You have trusted me with the most precious people in your life. I love these kids. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Congratulations again. We will be breaking for cupcakes in a few minutes, so we just have to get through a couple more things, but we're not going to go through the whole thing before we break for cupcakes. I'm looking at the younger members of our audience with this announcement. Board members, do we wish to add anything at this time? I'll just say congratulations.
Yeah, only because I know people are waiting for cupcakes, but I'm so proud of you, and I'm so happy that I get to award tenureship as, for the first time while I'm sitting on the board. And I'm glad it's you, Ms. Giuliano.
And hopefully I remember this right, but this is agree. Couldn't agree more. My kids brought those hand signals home, and we still use them several years later. So you made a wonderful impact on my two children that were lucky enough to have you, and we're so thrilled you're going to be here.
I think as someone who enjoys tenure, I think it's a very special thing, and not too many occupations have it. The best thing about it, in my mind, is that it gives me permission to serve my profession, ethically and with integrity, and it protects me and encourages me to do the right thing, to hold my administration accountable, to hold myself accountable, and it gives me the opportunity to be the best professional I can be. A lot of people don't know what it means, but if that's the guiding principle, that you've earned the right to be free to articulate what's best for the children and what's best for the profession and what's best for education. Mm-hmm. So, congratulations. I remember when you were hired, and I remember one time John Griffith said to me, he's a former principal here, he said, Marge, hiring her may be one of the best decisions I've had in my entire career. So he was super confident then about you, and we're super confident now about you. So thank you.
Those thank yous you said at the end, I think the district would just echo those right back your way. So thank you and congratulations.
Okay, we're going to move on now to create new positions. We have a request for approval to create instructional position science teacher. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Garrison Union Free School District, upon the recommendation of Carl L. Albano, Superintendent, does hereby create the following position effective July 1, 2021. 1 full-time science teacher. May I have a motion, please?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Abstentions? Nays. Next, we have a request for approval to create an administrative position, Director of Technology and Innovation. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Garrison Union Free School District, upon the recommendation of Carl L. Albano, Superintendent, hereby approves the creation of the following position, effective July 1, 2021. 1 full-time Director of Technology and Innovation. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Abstentions? Nays? Thank you. Next, I'm going to pull out 2 items on the personnel agenda, on the consent agenda. First, the instructional appointment, probationary science teacher. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Garrison Union Free School District hereby accepts the recommendation of Carl L. Albano, Superintendent, to appoint Rachel Arbor to a 4-year probationary appointment as science teacher in the Tenure area of science, effective September 1, 2021 through August 31st, 2025. Ms. Arbor is pursuing her New York State Certificate in Science, which will be a requirement for her continued employment. The board further authorizes the superintendent to employ Ms. Arbor on a per diem basis for up to 12 days during July and August 2021 for the purpose of curriculum planning, and hereby authorizes her to be paid at the GTA's curriculum development and staff development rate of pay for such days. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Abstentions? Nays?
May I?
Yes, of course.
So I'd like to just give a little background here. The tenure area is science, and that is simply because New York State does not yet, and I emphasize yet, have an environmental education tenure area. And I do think we will be seeing that in the near future. But Rachel Arbor is now officially Garrison's first environmental education teacher, and I'd like to share her background with you, and please bear with me just for a few moments. For the past 3 years, Mrs. Arbor has served as the 7th and 8th grade science teacher at Altona Middle School in Colorado. Prior to this, she was the girls' head counselor and outdoor educator at the Keystone Science School. She also worked as a certified ski instructor at Vail, Colorado. Ms. Arbor has a BA in Environmental Studies from Franklin and Marshall College and is in the process of completing her master's in Education and Biological and Environmental Sciences at Miami University. Her professional honors and awards include the Henry Ford Teacher Innovator Grand Prize winner this year, 2021, the Altona Middle School's Teacher of the Year Award this year, again, 2021, and the Vernier Engineering Contest Notable Entry last year, 2020. And I think she was the only non-veteran teacher to ever receive that award. There are more awards, but those are just 3 highlights. Ms. Arbor's experience, her collaborative skills, her passion for environmental education make her the right choice for this newly created position. I'm confident that Mrs. Arbor will work with our entire school community to successfully integrate environmental education and sustainability into Garrison's K-8 programs. I congratulate her and welcome her, and if we have another moment, I would love to invite Mrs. Arbor up to the microphone, and if you'd like to say a few words, Rachel.
Lower the mic first, if I can. Well, I just want to thank you. This is such an honor, and it's so contagious, maybe that's the wrong word, to see how much you celebrate each other really as a family, and it just reaffirms the fact that this is my dream job. I've worked as an event coordinator, an outdoor educator leading science trips in the backcountry, and as a more formal classroom science teacher, and this position at the Garrison School is without a doubt the perfect combination of all of those experiences and values in the best possible way. The level of collaboration that's involved in this position, I know I have so much to learn from amazing teachers like you, and I can't wait to support other teachers in implementing really meaningful cross-curricular science projects. So my goal as a teacher is really just to make kids feel science and experience science instead of just learning about it. And also, this natural wonder around us, the forest and Pumpkin the tortoise, I mean, with all that natural fertilizer too, there's just so much to learn. So thank you so much, Mr. Albano and Ms. Emig, for this opportunity, and the board. I'm so excited to get started, so thank you.
Welcome.
Congratulations, Vicky.
Welcome, officially.
Okay, last order of business before cupcakes. We have the Administrative Appointment Probationary Director of Technology and Innovation. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Garrison Union Free School District, upon the recommendation of Carl L. Albano, Superintendent, hereby appoints Michael Sammartano, excuse me, my apologies, Michael, to a 4-year probationary appointment as Director of Technology and Innovation in the tenure area of Director of Technology and Innovation, effective July 6, 2021, and ending July 5, 2025. Be it further resolved that the Board hereby approves the terms and conditions of employment agreement dated June 16, 2021, for Michael Sammartano, as presented to the Board at this meeting, and authorizes the Superintendent and Board President to execute said agreement. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Abstentions? Nays. Carl?
Okay, so just a little background. Mr. Sammartano is an award-winning educator, instructional designer, professional developer, and educational technologist. As an Apple Distinguished Educator and Google Certified Trainer, Mr. Sammartano has worked with educators both locally and across the country to develop, design, and deliver engaging and forward-thinking instruction for students. Mr. Sammartano is an 18-year educator with extensive experience in the field of instructional technology. Since September 2015, he has been serving as an instruction and innovation coach in the Mamaroneck Union Free School District. From September 2004 through June 2015, he served as an earth science teacher at Hoch Middle School. Mr. Sammartano has a bachelor's in marketing music from Fairfield University and an MS in science education from Lehman College and an MS in instructional technology from New York Institute of Technology. Mr. Sammartano is the co-founder and director of Technology for STEM Leadership Center, a nonprofit organization that designs and delivers professional development for educators and next-generation science standards-informed STEM programs. Mr. Sammartano is also the writer, editor, and producer of Mike Sammartano on YouTube, which currently has more than 71,000 subscribers and 14 million views. We are very excited to have an educator of Mr. Sammartano's caliber join the Garrison team. His extensive knowledge, skills, and experience with instructional technology and project-based learning align perfectly with Garrison's recently created vision of the graduate and strategic goals. Michael, we're thrilled to have you join us, as well as Rachel. If you'd like to come up and say a few words.
Can I say something even before you get up, Michael?
Of course.
I was on the I was on the committee that interviewed the finalists for this position, which was which attracted an awful lot of applicants, and I would say that all of the finalists were all impressive people. We were impressed by every one of them, but Michael left us breathless. It was just amazing to meet Michael and to hear Michael and to be thrilled that the Garrison School is attracting the caliber of people that it is, and both with respect to Rachel and also with Michael. And we already have a pretty high level of folks here, as we learned earlier this evening. But I'm really excited about Michael being here. I think that he and Rachel will elevate the already high standards that we have at Garrison. And parents should know what a big deal it is to have these two new teachers. I mean, Michael, I'm thrilled that you're here. Now I'll stop talking.
Welcome to voting, Michael.
I'll be very brief because I know I'm the only thing standing between our young friends and the cupcakes. So first off, thank you to the board, to Mr. Albano, to the entire community, to Ms. Amig for the opportunity. I'm so excited to be here. It's funny, when I heard Marge speaking about her background, I feel kind of the same way. I grew up in Westchester, and I have hiked these hills for as long as I can remember in recent years with my 3 daughters. And over the last 5 years, I've been thinking, you know, how can I bring my career to the next step and bring back my love of science? Remember, I was a classroom science teacher for more than 12 years, but also engage with technology in meaningful ways for students. And so when I met with Carl and heard about this position and this community and this school, it just felt like a perfect fit, and I am just so excited. I didn't think I could be more excited until I heard and met Marge here, and these are the kinds of teachers, and Rachel as well. Congratulations to you both. I'm so excited to work with you and get to know the community and really impact the teaching and learning that is happening here so that we can, you know, support our children as best we can. So again, thank you to everyone. Thank you. I'm really excited to get started.
Thank you, Michael. We will now take a brief 15-minute recess. We invite everyone to have cupcakes.
Can I make a motion that we break for cupcakes? Do we need
I
a
was
motion?
told we did not need a motion for
Excellent.
cupcakes.
Is there an age limit on cupcakes?
There's no age limit on the cupcakes either. I'm not sure about the tea over there, but
There
we're
is
still on school
a
ground.
quantity limit. Dave.
Yes.
I remember your history with
Everyone,
chocolate
please.
chip cookies.
Come up. Now, items.
Instructional leave of absence.
Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Garrison Union Free School District hereby approves the items of the personnel consent agenda D through N as presented. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
May I have a second? Second. Thank you. Carl, do you want to speak to some of these before I go on?
Yes, these are a number of different personnel items. The majority of them are for summer work. It enables us to do summer curriculum planning with teachers, such as the 2 that were hired this evening, Ms. Rachel Arbor and our new DOT, Michael Sammartano. Also, there is a need for some summer special education program. One of the aides is helping us with that. In addition, there is a leave of absence. Miss Fortini is our middle school math teacher. She's taking a 1-year leave of absence for her family. And we are hiring Mr. Michael Roman, who has been with us for 2 years, and he will be assuming the responsibilities of teaching middle school math for the entire school year.
Okay. Do I have any questions from the board regarding the consent agenda as presented? Okay. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Abstentions? Nays? Okay. Next up, we have the financial reports. We will begin with the claims auditor report for May 2021. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Garrison Union Free School District hereby accept the claims auditor report for May 2021 as presented. May I have a motion, please? Thank you. Seconded. Thank you. Any questions on the claims auditor report as presented? Okay. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Nays? Abstentions? Thank you. Next, we have accept the treasurer's report for May 2021. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Garrison Union Free School District hereby accept the treasurer's report for May 2021 as presented. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Do I have any questions on the treasurer's report as presented? Okay. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Nays? Abstentions?
I would just make one comment that the finance committee met and went over some of these reports, correct?
Yes, we're going to get to the fund,
Okay, great.
you're talking about the reserves.
The reserves.
Yes. Next up, we have accept minutes. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Garrison Union Free School District hereby accept the minutes of the regular meeting of June 2nd, 2021. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions on the minutes? Okay. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Nays? Abstentions? Thank you. Now we will move on to new business. Approval of new business items. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Garrison Union Free School District hereby approves the new business items as presented. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Seconded.
Thank you. Carl, do you want to speak to some of these?
Sure. We'll start with letter C. This is renewing our agreement with our law firm, Gervin and Filazzo, out of Albany, New York. They've been with the district for many years and have provided high-quality service. I've worked with them in past districts, and they have a wonderful reputation. The retainer is basically staying the same as it's been in previous years. There was a nominal increase to some of their hourly rates. But again, I recommend them highly. They're a very competent and experienced law firm. Letter D, the Omni Group is simply our 403B benefit that we offer employees. This they administer. So this is the contract to renew that for the upcoming school year. Next, there is a cooperative transportation agreement with Henrik Hudson. This basically allows us, if we have a student or if we share students that are going to the same location, we could combine and try to save some money and use one bus and maybe have Henrik Hudson School District students and Garrison students, if they're traveling to the same location, we could potentially save some money. So we will be examining that and looking for some savings if we can combine efforts there. The reserve plan is something that was reviewed. Our business official, Joe Jimick, is not here because his daughter is graduating this evening, but he did review this with our finance committee, and this is something that has been recommended by our internal auditor, and it is a thorough plan, and I believe the finance committee has reviewed it carefully, and it will be posted on the district's website. Also, the authorized appropriation of reserve and funding of year-end reserves. We've also received recommendations from the auditors that certain funds ought to be used for the purposes they were intended for. So, for example, there's a tax cert reserve. We did have $4,285 in tax certiorari's that we needed to pay this year. We are recommending that we take that from the reserve fund, and there is plenty of money available to cover that expense. That is just one example. There's an unemployment reserve, for example. So we are also recommending that the district use money from the reserve for its intended purpose. So that is that resolution. Letter H is an approval of an award bid for janitorial services. Because of COVID, we've had to increase our cleaning protocol and disinfecting protocol. We're cleaning our buses more regularly. We're cleaning our classrooms and desktops, and lunch is not in the cafeteria. It is in each classroom. So this past year, we did hire a cleaning company. We went out to bid and were able to get a little bit of a better rate with the company. I will give you the name. It is Reliable Cleaning Company. They were the lowest responsible bidder. They had very good references. So they will be, what this is approving the bid. We will have our law firm draw up a contract. If requirements ease in the upcoming year, we potentially do not need to use this service. So we may decide to maintain or go beyond the requirement, but this gives us that option, and I think it's an important option to have. I'm also recommending that they be approved as of July 1st, because we do have a major capital project this summer. We do believe our current facility staff can handle all of the work surrounding the capital project, and we'll be able to prepare school for opening. But if we did need extra help,
we could also work with this company collaboratively to make sure the school is prepared for the opening in September. And then the last one is a budget transfer, letter I. And these are pretty common. Some of these lines at the end of the year were not used. There was a surplus, and we're reallocating some of those funds to different expenses. This year, there were some unexpected expenses that we incurred. So this is just basically transferring money from a line that was not used to a line that we need to pay. And I would be happy to answer any questions.
I will just add a quick comment that I believe retaining the current law firm is very important given the history they have with the district as well. And James, did you have anything you want to add on fund balance from the Finance Committee as chair?
No, Joe and Carl came up with a plan for handling reserves in an appropriate way given the.
You have to speak to the microphone.
Sorry. Joe and Carl came up with a plan for handling the reserves so that we do it in a fiscally responsible way. Obviously, the last year's put strain on reserves, and I think the plan is meant to be mindful about moving forward so that we are protecting our reserves and at the same time being able to provide, positive educational experience for our students. So is that short?
I think that's...
Kent was there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's fine.
Would you add anything?
No, I mean, I think that the moves that were made were right along with what the auditor... The moves that are recommended are right along with what the auditor had said, and certainly seem to be what we need to do.
Yeah.
Thank you. Do I have any questions on our new business items as presented from the board? Okay. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Nays, abstentions. Thank you. Give me a minute to catch up. We have now reached the public comment section. Public comment is intended for members of the community to speak openly and voice concerns. In accordance with Policy 3220 of the Garrison Union Free School District, any person wishing to speak shall comply with all provisions of this policy. Comments about specific school personnel or individual students is a violation of board policy. Concerns regarding students or personnel should be discussed privately with the superintendent or appropriate administrator. Comments should be limited to 3 minutes, and speakers are asked to conduct themselves in a respectful manner. The board will listen to comments but will not engage in dialogue. Any necessary follow-up will be noted and provided through the appropriate channel. Members of the public wishing to comment during board meetings will be invited to come to the microphone and state their name. From the sign-up sheet, first I have Ms. Nama Barta.
Can you hear me? My name is Nama Barta. I have... Okay, you want me to... Can you hear me now?
Can you tilt it down so you don't
Yes.
have to reach, maybe?
Can I take it off?
Yeah.
Thank you. I have 2 special ed kids at the Garrison School District.
I'm sorry, you cannot talk about your children during public
I'm
comment.
speaking today in the hopes that you will acknowledge what I have to say. I can appreciate your efforts as a board to guide the direction of improvements for our school. Each of you individually and collectively bring your experience and values to this board to guide the direction and set agendas for work that you each believe is in the best interest of our school. For the time and effort you give to this school, thank you. I am speaking today as a parent asking the board to consider making special education concerns a regular agenda item during business meetings. The board has oversight responsibility for decisions the superintendent and CSE chair make. Recently, these decisions included terminating the middle school special education teacher, removing 3 aides.
I'm sorry, you cannot speak about specific personnel as well.
Stating intent to remove aides from the classroom and from special education, as well as allowing the CSE to conduct meetings with a focus on reducing services instead of evaluating need. Parents should not have to fight for a free and appropriate public education for their child. Perhaps the school board is truly not aware of where Garrison is falling short or failing our special education students. Contrary to what the special education consultant Deborah Weiner stated at the last board meeting, there are improvements to be made in our special education program. We would benefit from an increased focus on identifying, evaluating, and comprehensive service planning for our learning differences students. There are also improvements to be made with regard to how Garrison CSE meetings are currently being held. We should be looking to increase evaluation in scope and depth to better understand our students with learning differences and disabilities. This is happening less as the resources become increasingly unavailable. The board-approved decisions to terminate staff recently have forced atrophy of an already under-resourced special education team in our school. Why has no board member sought to understand what impact these cuts would have for students with learning differences or disabilities? Most organic learning differences and disabilities are lifelong. They do not get better. They require support and planning for the entire academic career and beyond. When you learn that there is a 20% decrease in services that were mandated to help students with lifelong learning differences and disabilities, why wasn't a red flag raised? I want to share the definition of the term deliberate indifference. Deliberate indifference is the conscious of reckless disregard of the consequences of one's acts or omissions. It entails something more than negligence, but is satisfied by something less than acts or omissions for the very purpose of causing harm or with knowledge that harm will result. Please consider your role in oversight and support for all our students. I want my words tonight to inform you that there is a threat to the most vulnerable students here at Garrison. I hope that you will take the time to consider making special education a greater priority than you have already made it.
Thank you for your comments. Next, I have Glenn Steiner.
Without my cane this time. I don't have a lot to say. Alan and I had two boys in the Garrison School District here, and they both were bright kids with learning disabilities. Those disabilities carried way through.
Sorry, you cannot speak about specific students, even if they have graduated.
Oh, okay. I have a question then. Is there a system in place where parents that have concerns about the classification and provision of services, is there a system in place, and what is that?
The special education system, may I respond?
Of course.
Is posted on our website, so you can review it. The CSE process is separate and apart from the board, as was indicated at our last board meeting. The board does not have an impact on the CSE process. We approve the recommendations as they bring them forth. If parents have issues with the CSE recommendations, there are state controls on that, and they have to follow that process, which is provided to them. You can go to the website and read through the process, but it is largely controlled by state.
Okay. Just one other comment. I have a concern about teachers who are so close, teachers or staff members who are so close to retirement.
We cannot speak about specific individual personnel.
I'm not speaking about specific individuals. The people who are no longer being given places on the staff for next year, I'm speaking in general, is there a system in place for them to somehow negotiate with the district how they might be able to maintain their benefits and not lose them so close to retirement?
The board cannot discuss personnel in a public session. I'm sorry.
I am concerned that given that there are a number of people who are senior staff members and leaving, and it will affect that it will affect the staff as a whole in terms of morale. That's all.
Thank you for your comment.
Yeah. And I will request to have a further meeting with you, Carl, if I could, and with the principal whose name I have forgotten.
Ms.
but-
Amig.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Next up, Ms. Barbara D'Alessio. Thank you. Do I have any further public comment this evening? Okay. Next, I will move on to board member comment and other discussion.
I think Matt should go.
We'll start at the bottom. I have no further comment this evening. Matt?
I have no further comment this evening. Thank you.
Kent?
No further comment except for best of luck to you, James, and thank you for your service.
James?
No comment other than congratulations to, once again, to Marge. Congratulations to the new hires, and I wish the teachers a restful summer, and the staff a restful summer, those who are able to take a couple weeks just to disconnect and be with their families and just forget about all this stuff for a while and drink the summer in a bit. But I have to say the feelings of excitement toward the fall are palatable, and you can really sense positive change and the positivity in the staff. So look forward to seeing what happens in the fall from afar.
David?
James, thanks again. No further comment.
Jocelyn? Okay. Next, be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Garrison Union Free School District hereby enters into executive session for the purpose of discussing the superintendent evaluation and discussing the employment history of a particular person. May I have a motion, please?
Second.
Okay. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Nays? Abstentions?
Logging out.
All right. Please log out of your computers. Thank you.